So Mr. Kingsley Fawo joins us as Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kogi State. Mr. Fawo, good morning and welcome to the show. Kogi State is one state that has been battling insecurity, and just recently the Cherubim Church was attacked and people abducted. And the state government, interestingly, said that, well, religious houses should avoid areas that are described as hotspots and they should not gather there. Shouldn't the messaging be, we will provide security for you so you can gather and worship? Speak to us, Mr. Fawo, what exactly is going on? Mr. Fawo, just to be clear, can you hear me? All right, we'll reconnect with Mr. Fawo, the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kogi State. You know that on Sunday... all right, Mr. Fawo, please go ahead. I understand you can hear me now.
Thank you very much. I can hear you, but I didn't get the question you asked.
Right. So I was referring to the recent abduction in Kogi State. Also last week, we saw commuters stranded on a certain highway because there were fears that attacks were happening ahead of them. But the state government has said that worshippers should avoid gathering in areas described as hotspots. But the question is, shouldn't it be that the government will tell those people that, you know what, we are providing security so you can gather to worship? So I'm curious, what exactly is going on?
Thank you very much for having me, and good morning, viewers around the world. The issue of security, I think you are putting two things together. There was a kidnapping along the Oshoko-Obajana Road last week, and immediately the state government was able to mobilize security agencies. We also assured the families that we are going to activate our security architecture to get those people back. And within just a few days, all of them were rescued alive. Then on Sunday, there was also an attack on a church at Ejiba in Yagba West local government area. We've always been talking about this. We've held series of meetings with religious bodies, lots of town organizations and a lot of that, to alert them to some of these threats, and also to let them know that the state government is working very hard to provide security. But what is also most important is the preventive part of it. We are providing security around Yagba West local government area being a hotspot. But, you know, it is also not advisable security-wise to be having this kind of services in the bush. So what we kept telling them is that whatever we can do to work together with security agencies to allow this period to pass. We are opening a lot of fire on the criminals in the state right now, but we just need some preventive measures. We need some cooperation from these religious organizations to ensure that places that are prone to this kind of criminality are avoided for now until we can bring the situation to normal.
And that's my question, Mr. Fawo. This church, the Cherubim and Seraphim Church in Ejiba Yagba, is it in the bush? I mean, this is a residential area. So are you saying people should relocate as a result of security or insecurity, or security should be provided so people can go about their daily lives? It sounds as though the government is saying, well, we're overwhelmed, we can't help it, so for now, just move away.
I was not talking about anything that has to do with relocation, and I was not trying to paint a hopeless scenario as far as this is concerned. We are doing a lot to protect worship centers, to protect communities in the rural areas, and what we are saying is that at this time, we have a lot of intel that had to do with attack on worship centers. Just last week, the state governor convened a high-powered security council meeting. And in this meeting were religious leaders. And some of these intels were shared to avert this kind of scenario. It is not about, let me tell you something. For every incident that happened, the Kogi state government had averted more than 20 that would have happened. But we can take precautions. We are protecting these people. We are providing enough security in rural areas, in the most affected areas. We are doing everything, investing heavily to be able to provide whatever is needed to secure our people. But at the same time, we should also be very conscious of the fact that we also have roles to play by avoiding places that will make us vulnerable to this kind of attack. That's the point I was trying to make.
Right. So as it stands today, can worshippers gather to worship? For example, in Yagba West, can they gather to worship? Is there security for them, or they should still stay away from worship centers?
We are not saying worshippers in Yagba West should not gather to worship. That same Sunday, I had my information across that particular local government area. Most churches had their service that day. There was no incident. And what we are advising them is that if you are located in places that are remote, in places that are in the bush, in places that would be difficult for us to quickly mobilize security agencies and the security architecture if any incident happen, then at this time we can avoid it. Most churches, Yagba West is a predominantly Christian, a Christian local government area, and you had hundreds of churches, and they all had their services that day. So it is not that we are telling people can go to worship centers, to the mosques, to the churches, but what we are saying is that places that are prone to this kind of attack, for now, should be avoided. At the same time, as a government, we are also deploying a lot of security agencies, both the conventional and the local security agencies, to be able to safeguard all of these places. But as citizens, as worshippers, we also have roles to play.
So, Mr. Fanwo, by your acknowledgement right now, you're saying that there are places in the rural areas in Yagba West local government area that the Kogi state government is unable to guarantee security of lives and property, especially for people in worship centers. Hence, they should not gather.
That is your position. That is
what you have said.
No. That is not my position. My position is that we are providing security to all of our citizens, wherever they are. That is my position. But what I'm trying to say is that you don't go into places that you know are vulnerable, even if you are guaranteed that there is security there. What is more important in crime control is prevention. If you can prevent it, it is better than when you are trying to control the level of criminality. So we are not saying that. My position and the position of the state government is wherever our people are, we have the capacity to protect them. You can have some of these incidents, people, they come from the bush to attack places and, things like that. But, it is not that the state government lacks the capacity. We've shown capacity to be able to deal with this. And that's why the state government has been able to put in place one of the most robust intel operation in the country today. Just yesterday, we still had some intels as to how some kidnappers are targeting some high-profile individuals and how they are trying to procure arms from a certain dealer. We are closing in on some of these intel. So we have the capacity to protect our people. We are assuring them not to be afraid. Their governor told them he would never submit to criminality, but he would go all out, attack it, and defeat them. That is what
Mr. Fanwo, we're not quite clear what you're saying, because you have also said that they shouldn't go into places that are vulnerable. So you're also acknowledging that there are places that are vulnerable that, the state government may not be able to provide security for them. But talk to us about two travelers that were also abducted, this time in Yagba East. This has been confirmed by the Kogi State Police Command. What is the state government doing about this particular kidnap case? And does this say that Yagba East and Yagba West local government areas in Kogi State are, under pressure of attack and kidnappings by bandits?
Thank you very much. What I was saying that we are providing security. We are assuring our people not to be afraid. Their state government, their governor is working very hard to provide security. Yagba West is a border local government to Kwara State. As you are aware, we are having military bombardment, in Kwara right now. And, the usual style is when there is fire on them somewhere, they move to the next state. Kogi is being bordered by 10 other states, including the FCT. So we are vulnerable to this kind of influx of criminals, especially where there is bombardment on them in the neighboring states. Now, the point we are trying to make is that Yagba West, being a border local government, is prone to this kind of attack. And the next local government to it is Yagba East, which also shares borders with Kwara State and some other states. So what we are saying is that we are doing everything possible to provide security in these local government areas, but we also want to tell the citizens to be cautious, to be careful, the governor was at Isonluesa, Okoloke, and Okono. Those are the flash points. They share border directly with both Kwara and Niger State. He was there to see what the military is doing there, to galvanize them to do more and continue to route out these elements in those places. And we are getting a lot of results there. And, it is what we need now is vigilance and cooperation with the security agencies. As far as the state government is concerned, the governor is sparing no resource to ensure that security is fully restored in those two local government areas.
Yeah, Mr. Fao, even the Nigerian government is not able to perfectly secure our country for a couple of reasons. So it's not out of place when we push and say your government will not be able to secure everywhere, but you can do the best you can. So I see the back and forth you were trying to make about whether or not security. In fact, security advisory is a sign that certain things are wrong. So it's just what it is. If the people are not secured, they are not secured. To the best of your ability, you have to do what you can to make sure you give them a sense of safety. But where I'm going to with my question is, as you've mentioned, Kogi is bordered by almost 9 or 10 states, including the FCT. What is the government doing in terms of mapping? Because perhaps Kogi is one of the most bordered states. I mean, within the country, when you're literally surrounded north, southwest, southeast, north central, and even almost part of north central, southwest, southeast, I think just a part of south, maybe Delta or so. What mapping is being done to ensure that the people are safe and secure to the best of your ability? By mapping, I mean the level of decision that is being made depending on the vulnerability of attacks across the states that border Kogi State.
I think you can also take that answer from my previous submission as to how we are ensuring that we mobilize a lot of security resources to the border local government area, the border communities. The video that you are showing right now shows the border between Kwara, Kogi, and Niger here in Kogi State, where those elements are moving from those two states to Kogi to terrorize our people. And, in response to that, we've been able to mobilize security resources to those places. You could see the military, the Joint Task Force, both the conventional military, the police, the DSS, and the local security architecture. So we have been able to identify these hotspots. That's what I'm talking about, mapping and how we're able to mobilize security resources. You have Yagba West, you have Yagba East. Also, you have some part of Kababunu bordering Niger State, where they cross the river Niger to move into the state, perpetrate their heinous harm and rush back. We also have that place. So around Kiri and the other places, we have also been able to mobilize a lot of security resource to those places. In Kiri, for instance, just a few days ago, they attempted to attack a school, and because we were already prepared for that, we already mobilized the security agencies to the place. They were able to repel the attack immediately, and some of them that exchanged fire with the security agencies have been sent to their creator. So it is a matter of identifying these places, which we have been able to do. It is also a question of mobilizing security resources to those places to be able to curtail this, which we have been able to do. And we'll continue to improve on this. We'll not give all the information. We have a lot of our young people that are doing training on how to man some of the equipment we have brought in. We will not disclose this for security reasons. But, in the next couple of weeks, we are going to go completely technological to be able to identify, pin those people to where they are, and be able to deal with the situation and ensure that they are unable to circulate in their criminal activities.
What assurances is the government giving to, because I use elections, for example. Whenever there are elections, Kogi is always looked at as a very tough place in terms of security concerns, and this is because of building. And it's not unique to Kogi. There are states like Rivers, a couple of other states where elections are really quite a volatile situation. So in terms of building the confidence of the people, how much of community involvement is being done by the state government? Do you have the likes of, for lack of a better comparison, the Amotekhuns within the state?
Thank you very much. The issue here is that completely we have recalibrated our security architecture in the state. It used to be from the top to the bottom. Right now, under the current administration in the state, we've been able to have a lot of community involvement. That is from the bottom to the top. What we have identified is that the community should play a greater role in ensuring security. One, they will be able to gather intelligence. If new faces come to your community, the community people will be the first to know and be able to question such a person and know what the person is doing there. So what we have been able to achieve is to ensure that we build our security architecture in such a way that the community takes the lead. We have also been able to recalibrate our vigilante service in such a way that, before now, they were just a standing service to provide security. Now they have been incorporated into the conventional civil service in the state, so they now know that their job is pensionable, and also they have been trained, they have been equipped to be able to provide the first line of defense in communities wherever there is this kind of an attack. Also, we have been able to employ thousands of hunters who are residing in those rural communities to collaborate with the vigilante servicemen and women, and also to be able to cooperate and complement the efforts of the conventional security agencies in the state to be able to do that. So every village you go to in Kogi State now, you have an army of the vigilante service, the hunters, and also the conventional security agencies. So it is now community-based, and that is why we are recording the kind of success that we are recording in the state, despite the fact that we are bordering 10 other states, including the FCT, and we have this kind of influx whenever these criminal elements are bombarded in other states.
Okay. So, Mr. Fawo, speak to us about the Cherubim and Seraphim church abduction. How many people were abducted, and when will they be released, or when are you securing their release?
Thank you very much. I've tried to gather a lot of information from that place. Right now, I don't have a very clear figure. A list was sent to me a few days ago, which had 9 people, but I don't have the clear figure, because in this kind of a situation, some people that you think might be in their hands might have escaped and somewhere else, or some people that you think are not with them are with them. So the security agencies are still carrying out their investigations, even as the rescue efforts is ongoing. And you would agree with me that just a few hours after the incident, the state government was able to mobilize a police helicopter so that we can also have area surveillance as we are having the grand battle. The army, the DSS, the local, they are on their trail as we speak. And we are very hopeful that in the next couple of days, we'll be able to give Nigerians good news about that incident.
So we know from what we've heard time and again that the location of these bandits, their location is not hidden. The people know them. Particularly government and security agencies also know them. And you've said that there have been some arrests made by security operatives over the past few days. Who are these people? Do you have any idea who they are, where they're from, and what they want? I imagine that intelligence should have given you some sort of insight into that.
Yeah, I think basically, immediately after the Security Council meeting, the governor spoke about the fact that a lot of these bandit commanders have relocated to Kogi State because they are feeling the heat of the military bombardment in Niger, in Kwara, and all of that. We also hope that some of these will be simultaneous, because it's like applying a mosquito fleet in the room, and you opened in the bedroom while you leave the living room opened. They will go to one that is safe, and then for them, and then move to the other one later. So we want a situation where we have simultaneous cooperation. A lot of these bandit commanders are known. They are known. I was just telling you about the intel that we got yesterday, and there were conversations that were intercepted as to what operation they were planning to do. We already know ahead, and that's why I said for every attack you see in Kogi State, more than 20 have been abated. So they are people that some of these bandit commanders, we know their names. And, part of the things we brought in that I'm not going to disclose here, we'll be able to pinpoint exactly where they are, and we'll be able to do justice to them wherever they are. So it is unfortunate that we are facing this, and we know that as the heat is going, we also know that the tough will get going, because we in Kogi will make sure that this place is not comfortable to the bandits.
Mr. Fanwo, you said earlier that some who were abducted in Kogi State were rescued unhurt. I would like you to clarify what went through during that release or rescue of the abductees. Were they ransomed? Were they rescued? Or were they released? Because there's a big difference between the three. That's on the one hand. Maybe you should answer that first before I follow up.
Yeah, Bukola, I know where you are going. And, I'm there ahead. I will be there ahead of you. In Kogi State, we don't negotiate. The government said it's not going to bow to any criminal. We have the capacity to take them out. We have the capacity to deal with the situation. So we are not going to negotiate with any one of them. We regret the fact that in the fire exchange between the kidnappers and our military and the security agencies, we lost 2 people. But I think a lot of them too knew that Kogi is a no-go area for them. So we didn't negotiate with any criminal. We are not going to negotiate with any criminal. We are not interested in negotiating with any criminal. We are going to deploy all of the powers of our security architecture to always deal with them. That is the position of the governor, and that is what we have been doing.
Well, we hope that is the case, and we do not get to hear contrary information. To follow up on that, you said earlier that, Kogi is under pressure because the bandits are themselves under pressure from neighboring states like Niger and Kwara State. But in those states, we've also seen kidnappings, we've also seen attacks, we've also seen deaths of people, in vulnerable communities. So we wonder, what pressure that exactly you're talking about. But in videos that we're seeing now, we see that the terrain of those areas where attacks are ongoing, the roads are bad. And we've heard, concerns about neighboring roads to Kogi State from Kwara State, about the deplorable state of roads in that area. Look at the video that we're seeing right now, Mr. Fanwo. I believe this is an area in Kogi. What is the state government doing, particularly about roads linking Kogi and Kwara State, Ilorin Kaba Road in Eruku and, adjoining roads to ensure that these roads are rehabilitated and indeed these areas are well lit at night to deter any form of security threats on vulnerable communities in rural areas?
Thank you very much. The purpose of this question should be to get results and for some of these communities also to be able to enjoy very good roads. And to achieve that purpose, I hope that one day you bring federal authorities on here to ask them these questions directly. We are also asking the question, and we would be happy if you can also join us to ask the questions. The governor and some of our federal parliamentarians have been lobbying and pressuring for the federal government to fix these roads. They are federal roads. When you talk about Kaba to Ilorin, they are federal roads that should be fixed.
But Mr. Fanwo, in other states,
the fact that
pardon me, Mr. Fanwo,
there are movements as to fixing it, but we've not seen action happening on those roads. I agree with you completely,
Mr.
that
Fanwo,
if the roads are good.
Mr. Fanwo, pardon me, there are other states where the governors are providing intervention to fix the roads and then they get, some form of compensation later on. Why is the Kogi state government not providing that intervention and then get their compensation later on to ensure the security of lives and property, which is more important, the continued loss of lives in these areas due to the vulnerable state of the roads and infrastructure collectively, or the fact that it's the federal government that is responsible?
We are doing that. But we have limitations. There are limitations to the kind of resources that we have as a state. When you talk like this from Lagos, we really appreciate the fact that you are in a state that has almost limitless resources and all of that. And if Rivers, Delta, and other oil-producing states that have access to billions of naira are able to do that, you will appreciate that. But when you talk about Kogi State, our resources there is limited. Things are getting better because of the economic reforms that have freed some funds for state. But we also have a lot of infrastructural development that are going on in the state, like some of our universities, some of our township roads, and some of our primary healthcare centers, strengthening healthcare at the rural areas. So all these resources are going into this. To be able to get the resources that will fix this federal road, I hope you've asked a lot of questions as to how much can fix 1 kilometer of road. What we can do, especially on the Kaba Ilorin road, right now is to continue to appeal to the federal government to continue to pressurize them. You are talking of a road that tens, if not over 100 kilometers. So it is not something that the state government can fix on its own.
Well, Mr.
What we can continue to do is to provide palliatives on those roads once in a while, which we have been doing to ensure that people are able to use that road. But to reconstruct outrightly is something that is beyond the economic capability and capacity of the state.
So if that is beyond your economic capacity, can you handle state police?
Very well. We can handle state police. We are handling the vigilante service that are thousands today, and we are handling the...
Oh dear. Mr. Fanwo, we're totally out of time. I just wanted to get that on record as to your capacity to handle even more, since you say you can't handle the infrastructure on that side. But we have to thank you so much, Commissioner for Information and Communication, Kogi State, Mr. Kingsley Fanwo, for your time. And we wish the state the very best in the fight against insecurity. We'll take a moment now, and when we return, we'll head over to another state that is experiencing insecurity. Kwara State, a particular community has come under attack time and again. What exactly is going on? Well, we'll give you first-hand information from those affected. That's in a moment. Stay with us.